but
I've been known to
that's
sing
for
around
sure.
the house. Not gonna
Especially Tom Petty is a dangerous game for Pop. I mean, Pop is just a demon when Petty
And
comes
I'm
on.
free. Well, you got your opening, son. There you go.
Pop, what's going on, man?
How you doing, son? I'm sorry to rush you out of hair and makeup like this.
Doing good. No,
Time to
back
get
nine
rolling.
down. Back nine down. He had to skip the post golf round shower to get in here. Coming to you live late Tuesday night on the East Coast. Pretty average time for me on the West Coast, but yeah, we're coming to you live for a little pre-Thanksgiving set of podcasts here, doing the thing. We gotta talk Dallas, gotta talk favorite Thanksgiving Day foods, gotta talk a little bit of special edition Bada Bets. You know what time it is. So, Pop, I'm just gonna do my vibe check really quick because it's very short. The vibe sucks. Vibe sucks around this team. I can't get excited until this game feels like a metaphor for the season, which is this whole season is kind of a gap year, and it's like, okay, let's get this year out of the way so we can really see what the new ownership does. This game feels like the epitome of that because we're really just getting this short week out of the way so we can see what kind of changes the front office is going to make, in my opinion. That's where my vibe's at. Pop, talk to the people. Let them know how you're feeling. Let them know where your vibe's at. Say hi. Do your thing.
I mean, there's no question the vibe in general is that has been a disappointing season. I mean, my vibe is pretty good because I actually went to the Terps game tonight and they pulled off a very close 26-point victory or over I can't do math, 24-point victory over UMBC.
That's a nail biter.
That's a nail biter
against a tough program.
But they looked much sharper tonight, so I was happy to see that. It's been a rough start for my boys, but no, I mean, I think here's my vibe. It's going to surprise you a little bit, son. I much prefer being in this spot, going in this game against the Cowboys, than that Giants game where you just knew they were going to disappoint. I got a feeling the boys might come out and compete on Thursday.
All right. Makes one of us. Makes one of us. That's
I just prefer this spot. There's something about this spot, something about that team, something about Sam and EB. After a bad game tends to be a better one, a good one. We'll get into our keys, but got a little tingle that the boys might compete. Didn't say they would win, but I got a feeling they might compete.
Oh, well, that's this team's specialty. Team specialty is making it just good enough to hurt. That's the Ron Rivera way, baby. But yeah, it'll be a tough one. I mean, I'll give you guys a scouting report on the Dallas Cowboys, as if you don't already know, which you probably do. It's America's team. But Micah Parsons, pretty good at football. Dak Prescott this season, pretty good at football. CeeDee Lamb, pretty good at football. Their whole defense, pretty good at football. This is a very good football team. There's a lot to kind of fear here. Even like when you look further down the roster, guys like Brandon Cooks can take the top off the defense, super speedy guy. Tony Pollard, who has not had a great year so far, started to kind of get back to it last week. He's a guy that is a serious receiving threat out of the backfield, which, I mean, thank God Jamin Davis is so good at covering the wheel route. That should take care of itself. But it's you got that guy to worry about, and Dak has just been lights out. I mean, that's been the headline. The defense has been phenomenal, and you expect them to be that way, but Dak has been as good as he's ever been in the league over this last stretch of few games. He's just been absolutely balling. So we got our work cut out for us here. I mean, great pass rush, great secondary even without Trevon Diggs. Stephon Gilmore is no joke too. If he's healthy, I think he's playing. Um, just a tough team. Tough team. Don't love the matchup. Um, don't love the fact that it's on Thanksgiving. But we play every game, right? And we think the Eagles are the best team in football, so let's see what's up with the Cowboys, right?
Can I ask you a question, son?
Please.
Just distracted me a little bit. Is your head really that small, or is the tail of that hat just extra long?
There's a little bit. I guess it's just extra long. I don't really know. I mean, I've never been known to have a small head.
That's for sure. We
It's
don't.
just the
Small
way
heads
it's.
don't run in our family. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's just the way it's working around here.
Just trying to keep the levity up. Nah, it's a good scouting report. It's certainly, I think, one of the reports I heard says the best defense we're going to face this year, which, considering the quality of some of the defenses that we've played and that we're gonna play, is a pretty big statement. There's a lot of talent on that side of the football, but they've had their moments through the course of this season where they've looked like a beatable football team. And let's just hope we catch them on one of those days.
Yeah, so, I'm with you. I hope so.
For me, like
tough.
this season, we got 6 games left, and some people won't like me saying this because at this point, I'm not one that believes in tanking, but we're 4-7, and it's not like we're going to make some historic run and win 6 straight or 5 of 6 or something like that. It's just not going to happen. So for me, it's all about Sam's development. I hate to sound like Ron Rivera, but really seeing Sam play well and seeing some of those individual players continue to improve, continue to perform. See B-Rob continue to ball out. Maybe see Forbes flash a little bit more. See our D-line start to, look a little bit more like they looked. Maybe a KJ Henry continues to flash. See Duran and Allen kind of look like, Payne and Allen look like Payne and Allen. But winning and losing, I don't think is as big a priority. In fact, it probably helps to put a few more L's on the board than W's on the board the rest of this way. And as far as what they end up doing, coaching wise, we'll see. But yeah, the Cowboys are a really tough appointment. I don't know. We didn't really get into the coaching thing in our vibe check yet. I know you had the famous statement in the last pod that you hoped it was the last one under Ron Rivera's whatever you say, leadership. And that didn't turn out to be true. I'm almost at a point now where I don't know that it matters whether or not they make a change. What matters is at the end of this 6-game stretch, what they do going forward. But anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'll feel differently after Thursday.
Yeah, it's hard for me. I mean, the last time I've been this out on a coaching staff was the hunger strike I went on against Jay Gruden in 2019. I just stopped watching. I literally.
You mean future podcast guest Jay Gruden?
Yeah, and looking
back,
I don't know how much of that was Jay versus Dan and Bruce. The whole operation wasn't working there, and he was one of many victims of that system. But yeah, that was the last time I've been this checked out, and I was talking to a fan today on social media. I can't, we're so blessed to have so many fans that are talking to us on social media, whether it be on Twitter or YouTube, and thank you guys for interacting. I can't believe I'm actually about to say this. I can't remember where it was because I've been spitballing with so many different fans over the course of the day.
Cooking.
But I was kind of talking to him and saying, yeah, was out on Rivera before this whole thing started with the sale and all that, and I thought it was time for him to go then. After week 17 of last year with the Cleveland thing, I came on here and I said, fireable, should be fired, especially after the week of the eliminated thing. Check the tape. And since then, I've been 100% out. I let the Ashburn syndrome and the excitement of the sale reel me back in. And now I'm kind of back to the point where you're at, Pop, where it's kind of like, I hate to say it, but the wins and the losses are not the important part. It's, okay, does Kendall Fuller want to hang around? Does Cameron Curl want to hang around? How's Sam Howell looking? Can we get some signs of life out of Jahan Dotson? Can Terry McLaurin get over 100 yards? Where are the pieces to start this rebuild? Because unfortunately, and this is a pod for another day, but after 4 years of rebuilding, we're in a spot where there's a lot of holes and there's a lot of reworking and rebuilding of this roster to do yet again. But again,
but you
that
know
is
what,
for another
son?
pod.
You know what? They get that dub on Thursday. They're going to pull you back in. So let's figure out how we can get that dub.
There you go. There you go.
They get that dub. Sam puts up 350 and 3 tutties. You know you're going to get sucked back in.
I'm rooting for a dub. Let me make that clear. I'm rooting for a dub. These guys go out there and they literally put their lives on the line every week to entertain us. I'm rooting for them to win. But
for sure. Sam,
you gotta hedge emotionally a little bit to keep yourself sane here. Let's get into the 3 keys to victory, Pop. Appreciate that segue. That was fire. Number 1, it's pretty simple. It's been one of the keys all year, and after coming off that Giants game, it's got to be a big one. We got to protect the football, and we got to protect Sam. And those two things kind of go hand in hand. If we're protecting the football, we're inadvertently protecting Sam because we're not putting him in situations where he has to make the hero play all the time. And Sam's got to protect the football too. He had 3 interceptions, and he could have had a few more last game. He had a couple balls hit off guys' fingertips or hit guys in the chest that just weren't looking. So the Sam has to protect the football as well. So that's key number 1. Pop, you got anything on that one, or you want to keep it rolling?
Yeah, I think I mean, the obvious thing that goes there is knowing where Micah Parsons is on the field, right? And figuring out what you're going to do to combat that, both from a protection point of view and where the ball is going to go. And so, hopefully there's a plan. It looks like part of Sam's development has been reacting to those blitz is better, calling out protections better, getting the ball out of his hands quicker, knowing where to go with the ball. That's going to be critical in this game, right? Just no way he can drop back and be successful. He's got to get the ball out of his hands quick. And I think with the way, it looks like Gibby might be back, the way B-Rob's been playing in the past game, even Rodriguez, he had an unfortunate fumble. It was good to see him catch a ball. I think they could be really successful with that type of game plan. Just work on getting yards after catch. Use their aggression against them.
If we're talking about getting the ball to guys in the open field that can use that aggression against them, Antonio Gibson's got to be at the top of that list. Right. So it would be good to see him back.
He looks like he's going in practice. Yeah.
You hate it when I do this, but I'm going to throw you this one just in case. You have any idea on the status of Curtis Samuel? How's he doing? Is he feeling better? Do we know? I think he played last week.
He played. He just got thrown out. So I think he's going to be all right.
He got ejected. So he'll be good. Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that whole. We were on here so depressed last episode. We didn't even get the chance to get in how bad the refereeing was that game. But that's neither here nor there. It's over now. Key number 2 is going to be the defensive game plan. You wanna pressure Dak Prescott. You want to put him under pressure. He's been known to throw the odd interception. He's been a lot better as of late, but was at one point in the season leading the league in picks before he kind of caught this hot streak. So if we can put some artificial turf on the back of that number 4 jersey, maybe we start to see a little bit of that come back, because we all know it's in there. We all know it's in there, and I refuse to believe he's eradicated it permanently. I refuse to believe it. It's just dormant. It's just waiting to be woken up. So let's try and wake it up. It feels a little silly calling for any change in defensive plan from Jack Del Rio, but I would like to see them continue to blitz. They've been blitzing a little bit more since they made the adjustments. KJ Henry has looked very good in some of those stunts. He just got really quick feet and just he's a good pass rusher, man. I like him. So let's let him cut loose. And yeah, the other part of that though is we've got to contain the scramble and be disciplined when we do rush the passer, and we got to kind of try and stop the run, jam things up a little bit at the line of scrimmage to put him in those pass situations. You got anything on that?
Yeah,
Pop,
you gotta pick your poison here, right? And I think I'd much rather keep Dak in the pocket and try to get some pressure on him and have him try to beat you that way. Not to say that he can't do that, because he could, but and as far as the defense, I mean, unfortunately there's deficiencies there. Like, everybody complains about Jamin Davis not being able to cover people, but who else are you going to put out there? At some point, your linebackers have to be able to cover tight ends or running backs or whoever's out in pass pattern. You can't put defensive backs on everybody. And he's the best we got. So I think that there's deficiencies in the players as well that come out no matter what the game plan is. And when you turn the ball over 6 times and keep putting your defense out there, we know it's a bad defense, mediocre at best. But I think it's if we're going to win this game, which goes on to key number 3, we gotta put points up. And that's not going to be easy against this defense, but it's the offense that's really going to need to make some plays, get them back in the air. And I think that they're capable of doing that when they're firing on all cylinders. It's going to be a game where they're going to have to be firing on all cylinders. And the best you can hope from the defense is maybe, just, bend, not break too much. But they're not going to be able to just stop the Cowboys. It's
maybe we
not realistic.
Maybe we get a couple fumbles. Maybe we turn a couple 7s into 3s, that kind of thing. I think that's the best you can hope for on the defensive side of the ball.
Oddly enough, that D line is still the strength. It's still the strength of this team, and they've got to cook.
Yeah, definitely. Number 3, offensively, Pop kind of alluded to it. We got to show up and we got to put up points. 24 plus is going to be the recipe for this one. I think you're going to need to hang at least 30 on them. 24 plus works, but realistically speaking, with that offense, the way that offense has been playing, and with our defense, this is just it's a miserable matchup. This is a terrible, terrible matchup for us. But you're going to want to score. I think you're going to need to score north of 30 to have a chance at this one. I think that's our only shot at winning this game, I think, is if this just turns into a complete barn burner. If both teams just decide they're not going to play any defense and we just start flinging it around the yard. And maybe we do for Thanksgiving, and that's exciting, and it's on national television, and great. And Sam Howell can have a 450-yard day. That'd be amazing. But we're gonna need that.
What gives me a little bit of hope about this team and about their ability to compete, and I've said this before, but it really is EB and Sam, because I don't think those guys are looking at the record or thinking about, what's going to happen with their jobs or whatever. I think they're both really focusing on, this is my first year doing this, and I just want to keep learning, keep excelling, and I want to show what I'm capable of. And I think that you're right. It's the only shot we've got. Now, we've done it. We did it twice against the Eagles. We put up 31 against the Eagles in the last game against that twice. We put up 31 against them twice. So, we could, I don't think there's a big discrepancy between what that Eagles defense can bring and what this Cowboys defense can bring. And they're a little beat up in the secondary and things like that, right? So I think that that's the kind of performance. And I think that Sam's going to give it everything he's got, trying to lead this team. He's just got to play a little smarter, right? He can't make the play, try to make the play that's not there. If it ain't there, don't try to make that play. Live to play another game. But I think that's the only shot they got. So
Yeah, you gotta. It's ironic to say with Sam because he's so good at making the off-schedule plays. But I think one thing I've learned from watching Howell this year is so far, and he's a young guy. Maybe he can, of course, develop this, but you got to keep him on schedule. You got to keep him on rhythm. You got to keep him in the game plan. You got to keep him in the flow of things. When he's that way, you
I don't
can't.
know if I
It's hard.
agree.
It's hard for him to break it. But when you
I
start
mean,
getting,
Seattle was a lot of off schedule and it looked great. It's just decision making in those moments,
I'm not
right?
saying he can't make off schedule plays. That's not what I mean. What I'm saying is you gotta keep him in the rhythm. That's more what I mean. You got to establish that
Yeah.
rhythm early with Sam, and you got to keep him moving in the
Yeah,
rhythm
that's good.
because when that rhythm's not there, he's not quite the type of quarterback that can just pick up and go on any given drive yet. We've seen signs of it, but consistently we haven't seen him
See, I think
respond
he
when that
is.
rhythm's not there. I hope
I
I
think
hope
he
you're right.
is. I
I hope
think the
you're right. I want to
difference
see more of
is
it.
I think the difference is against the Giants, he can't get inside the kid's head. But what I saw in terms of what he was doing and the plays he was forcing, it was like, oh no, this can't be happening again. And he tried to
Yeah.
put the team on his back and win the game. That's the mistake he
Yeah.
made, right? I want
And
Sam to be Sam. I want him to scramble. I want him to get outside the
oh, I
pocket.
love
I
all
want him to
that.
try to make plays. I don't want him to get slammed to the turf anymore. But he's got to I think he's smart enough and he knows it. He just can't force that ball in when it's not there. And I think he's the type of kid that's going to learn that from it. Doesn't matter what's on the scoreboard. Look how close we came. And if he throws a couple less picks, we might win that game. So I think he's fully capable of doing all those things. He's just got to not try to be Superman, right?
Exactly.
That's the thing. You can't magically make a completion happen if the receiver's covered. And
Yep.
he made some, especially those first two picks. The third one was fluky, but the first two were really bad decisions. And
Yep.
and that's the type of thing. People are trying to make excuses. De'Ami Brown slipped. Come on, he was double covered, and they were maybe he didn't run the best route in the world, but that's a ball Sam just shouldn't throw. And those are things that he's got to do. But I also think that Evie's got to help him out. You made a great point about him getting in rhythm. He's got to help him out with that too, and maybe not call for that deep ball in that first drive and let him get in a rhythm. Let him bring the ball down the field better.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. But let's get into the prediction for Dallas here before we get into a little bit of a special Thanksgiving segment for you guys. Pa, Dallas is favored by 10.5 points. Do you think we cover?
Well, I already kind of gave my tell on that. I'm going to pick us to cover. I'm going to pick us to play them tough. I think it's going to be probably another one of those heartbreakers. Never know though, but I'll definitely take the boys to cover.
Respect. I'm gonna go Dallas here. I just got a feeling about this one. This feels like the Monday night meltdown from a couple of years ago. I don't want
It
to.
could be.
I don't want to. But this just feels like this is gonna get. You got Dallas. They're kind of reaching their peak. They're super hot. You got us just unraveling at the seams. It just feels like this is gonna be an ugly one. And I hate it for Sam and for the few guys left on this team that I'm still really excited about, like, B Rob and Terry. But it's hard to see this thing going any other way. But you never know. Ron's teams always kind of play up and play down. That's kind of the dance is we play up against the good teams, we
You
play down
catch
against
them
the
on a
bad
little
teams.
bit of an off
So,
day. They're believing the hype. They believe the 10.5 points. They think they're going to blow this
that's
team
possible.
out. And again, it's kind of what we did with the Giants, right? And what we did with Chicago. You give us a little hope. You let us get out to get a couple touchdowns early, like we did in both Eagles games. Suddenly that dynamic changes and that momentum's in a different position. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying it could happen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give people out there a little bit of hope.
You believe. I like that. You believe.
I don't really believe, but
But I think
they can keep it close.
I think there's a strong possibility that this is Ron's last game, and I think that even if it's not Ron's last game, there's a very strong possibility it's Jack's last game. But let's see how it goes.
If it's a train wreck, it almost has to be. But we'll get there at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that's the Friday morning pod.
That pound of flesh might be coming first thing on Friday morning, but we'll see. We'll take it from there. Let's get into more good stuff on Thursday. Pop, we did it last year. We're doing it again this year. We're bringing you guys our top 3 Thanksgiving Day foods ranked. 1 through 3, each side. Pop, you want to go first?
I don't really have it in a particular order. I'm gonna say that. So I got my 3 favorites, but I'm not gonna pick an order
for your 3. All right.
No, for me, no particular order. It's kind of a tie. It's kind of hard to pick. But in the upset,
I'm no order thing later. I like that. I'm gonna speak on it later. Though. Go ahead.
I'm a turkey guy. Once a year, I make the turkey around here. I do olive oil, of course, like a good Italian would, and I put all the accoutrement around the turkey, a lot of onion, and then it just always seems to come out very flavorful, very great. I get great reviews. I hope I don't blow it tomorrow. But I just love the turkey with the gravy on top of it. A lot of people say they don't like turkey. I'm a turkey guy. Then you got to go. We got great sides all the time. My wife's just gotten to be terrific with the Thanksgiving sides. But sweet potato casserole has got to be top seed on the sides list. Mac and cheese, maybe a close second. Sweet potato casserole is just amazing. And then I got to go with my apple pie and warm apple pie and vanilla ice cream on the side. That's just got to be my top 3.
All right. I respect that. I think what I like about your top 3 is I like you going non-traditional on the turkey. And I like the way that I guess it's super traditional, but now non-traditional nowadays. Thanksgiving's evolved.
I'm craving that turkey, man. I can't wait.
What I like about it is the best part about Thanksgiving is not the individual dishes. It's the way it all works together. So to rank them one above the other, you get a bite of the turkey, and then you get a bite of the mac and cheese, and then you hit it with some sweet potatoes, and then you're back to the turkey. That's the dance. So to rank them becomes a little arbitrary at that point.
Don't forget the honey ham, too.
I'm going to roll with you. So I got my top 3. Again, no order here. And for me, I'm not a turkey guy. We don't do turkey in my household. It's just not it's not something I'm a fan of. Last year, I did a beautiful braised short rib and a red wine reduction over some mashed potatoes and some roasted carrots. Beautiful. Beautiful. This year, though, for the protein, for the main course, we're going one of my famous dishes, one of my best reviewed dishes is my fried chicken. We're going Dami's fried chicken. So that's number 1 on the list. Maybe number 2, maybe number 3, but that's in that top 3 for sure. And that goes back. That's tradition. Because I never liked turkey as a little kid. I couldn't stand it. I tried it every year. I said to everybody, try it this year. You'll like it this year. I tried it, Pop. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like turkey. There's been a lot of foods that I've tried and I've said I don't like, and I've never gone back and tried turkey. I gave turkey an honest chance. It's not for me. It's just not for me.
I'm never going to complain. I'm never going to complain about fried chicken. I love fried chicken.
I can't help it. So the original fried chicken was Pop. We always had cutlets on the table growing up. We always had some extra.
You were the original Tommy DeVito.
Like the Italian style fried chicken. Oh, I'd be willing to bet I've eaten more cutlets in my life than Tommy DeVito.
So every Thanksgiving, because Dominic didn't like the turkey, I had to make cutlets, chicken cutlets, Italian-style chicken cutlets for the boy. So you heard about Tommy DeVito. This is the original version right here.
So we've evolved this one a little bit past for this year. I'm hosting Thanksgiving at my spot. So we got the We got the fried chicken this year. It's a little bit easier to do for a crowd, the big fried chicken rather than the cotolette. You don't have to pound out everything. But I digress. Number 2 for me is the sweet potatoes. And this is something that came on later in life. I wasn't a big sweet potatoes guy when I was younger. I always loved sweet potatoes. But the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows on top that go in the oven and they get all the sweetness and it comes out. It's like your pregame and dessert. It's dessert during dinner time. And that's what I love about the sweet potatoes is the sweet potatoes provides that there's so much salt on the plate. There's so much salt. And the sweet potatoes provide that little bit of relief, a little bit of sweetness. Just kind of brings you back. And number 3, this is left field. I warn you. And remember, my first food that I had on this list was chicken, right? Was fried chicken. Number 3 is an essential component of my Thanksgiving dish that I've ever since I moved to LA, I've started doing that I can't get away from. I can't get enough of it. And that's waffles. It's gonna blow your mind. That's waffles. Because around my parts, what we do chicken and waffles for Thanksgiving dinner, baby. We do chicken and waffles because what goes better? You can't tell me turkey. You can't tell me this big bird that's been in the oven for 8 hours goes better with mac and cheese, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, roasted broccoli, all the good stuff. You can't tell me.
So waffles greater than mac and cheese for you?
Waffles. All right, let me lump the waffles in with the fried chicken.
That's an upset. That's an upset.
Can I do chicken and waffles as one group? Will you allow me to revise that and then throw the mac and cheese on top?
Yes, I will.
Can I have that? All right, so then we got to get the mac and cheese in there. Nothing more to be said about mac and cheese. All-time classic dish. All-time classic dish. You can't go wrong with it.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's get into.
You know what that was, son? Strong. That was strong.
Appreciate that, Pop. Appreciate that,
Strong.
Pop. And you notice no desserts on that list. For as much of a sweet tooth as I am, Thanksgiving about the entrees for the kid. Although I am making an apple fritter cake this year, which I'm excited about. Very excited about
that. I could taste the apple pie. And
I mean, you can't even talk
vanilla right now. I
can
taste it right now. Do I got to wait a whole nother 24 hours? Jeez.
Oh, man. You might not wait. You might hear that microwave go off in about 45 minutes. But anyways, let's get into the Bada Bets. So how we're doing this, guys, we're doing just a special Thanksgiving Day segment for Bada Bets because we're going to obviously have that post-game podcast coming to you guys before the Sunday games. So we're going to do Sunday game Bada Bets on the post-game pod. So these 3, these are on the house. This is just extra. You're going to get your 5 for Sunday. These 3 on the house. So with that being said, let's get right into it here. We got the Thanksgiving Day Bada Bets. Before we get into those, we got to hit you guys with the records from last week. So last week, Pop, tough week for the guy. Pop was 1-4.
Got bit by the spreads.
Sorry to see that there, Pop. And he was calling me bold. I went left. I told him I was following my gut, shooting from the hip, and I finished 4-1. So how can you hate that? And I am finally, after grinding this whole year, finally taking the lead on the year. I'm now 31, 23-3, Pop 28, 26-3. But guys, this podcast, both over 500. You know what they say about gambling? If you're over 500, you're winning. So this is gold. I mean, the boys are cooking. Boys are absolutely cooking. So guys, stay tuned. We got 4 Bada Bets coming to you on the house. Bonus, we got the 3 Thanksgiving games and the inaugural Black Friday game. How crazy is that, Pop? You got a Black Friday game now added to the slate.
That's it. I had forgotten that.
I had too, and man,
leave it to the NFL.
Is Rodgers gonna go for that Black Friday game? You think he's ready yet, or you think it's a couple more weeks?
I think it's a lot of talk. I think it's a lot of talk.
It's a lot of talk, that's for sure. Crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, you got the Packers at the Lions. Lions 7.5-point favorites. This is just a classic Thanksgiving Day matchup. I know the Lions always play on Thanksgiving at home, but they should play the Packers every year. It's just, this is a classic American Thanksgiving Day matchup. Lions 7.5-point favorites. Do you give the Packers any shot here, Pop, or are you taking the Lions?
I'm going with the Lions.
Yep, I'm going to roll with you there on Detroit. Commanders, Cowboys at minus 10.5. Hate having to include the boys in the Bada Bets, but we got to do it for this Thanksgiving edition. I already told you guys I like Dallas here. Pop is going to take the Commanders, I'm guessing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we kind of tipped our cap on that. And then 8:21, the last game of the night. 49ers 7-point favorites at the Seahawks. What do you like here, Pop?
I'm going with the Niners. I'm going favorite heavy this time, except for my Commanders.
I'm taking the Hawks to cover. That's always a tough matchup. It's a divisional matchup at Seattle. 12th man in full effect on Thanksgiving after a day of eating turkey and getting boozed up.
Gino's nicked up. I don't know is he going?
Is that a factor? I wasn't aware that was
too late. You can't change your pick now.
I wasn't aware that was going on. Hey, you got screwed on the Cleveland line last week, so
I did.
I'll wear
I was going to bring that
I'll
up.
wear it. I'll wear
so
it.
So he's playing. He's playing according to Pete Carroll. So
I'm going Hawks here. This is always a tough divisional matchup. I know the 49ers.
I feel the Niners are on a roll. I feel like they're going to keep it rolling. That's my logic.
Yeah.
There. They've turned
you
back
famously
around.
said they were washed a couple weeks ago, so
I did not say that. I did not say that. That is a lie.
Oh man.
Did not say that.
Man. Well,
I picked them higher than you, I think, in our last rankings, but
maybe I don't remember. But we got Friday, 3 p.m. Miami 9.5-point favorites on the road at the Jets. Black Friday game. What do you have here, Pop?
Told you, I'm going chalk. Fins.
Chalk, all right. Yeah, I'm going to roll with Miami here, too. I mean, the Jets are just falling apart at the seams here. Zach Wilson, not the guy going to be benched. I don't even know the backup's name that's going to be starting, so no disrespect. But just when that's the situation and you're going against the most explosive offensive team in football, you take the Miami Dolphins there. And I think
the Jets are pulling a Tom Petty. Free falling.
Wow. Where else can you get that?
The pipes, man. The pipes, golden.
Fergie and Jesus, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Were you performing a concert at the Burbank Costco a couple days ago? Is that why there was so much traffic in that parking lot? Were you?
I'm ready to keep it rolling too. I'm dying to just keep singing the rest of the song. But I'm gonna spare the people.
Oh, I've heard. It's not like I've never heard you do that before. But
I've been known to sing around the house. Not gonna
Especially Tom Petty is a dangerous game for Pop. I mean, Pop is just a demon when Petty comes
and I'm
on.
free. Well, you got your opening, son. There you go.
Yeah, you'll be singing that. Oh man. Well, I got nothing left for you guys.
Do you ever think you'd be doing a podcast if you popped?
I got nothing.
Now Tom Petty.
Karaoke hour.
If you're still with us, you've been rewarded. Huh?
Thank you so much. It's the witching hour, man. 10:45. Pop has lost it.
Oh man, way past my bedtime.
Time to get Pop to bed. All right, guys. Well, if you've been with us this far, clearly you're having a good time. If you've been with us this far and you're not having a good time, something's wrong with you. I'll just say it. So please hit that subscribe button.
Of course, they're having a good time.
Tell your friends. Drop a couple comments. Hit us up on Twitter at DC Sports Plus. Guys, thank you so much for all the support. It's been great. We've been really enjoying watching all these numbers go up and all the fun we've been having these last couple weeks. So, going to keep it rolling. Not going to stop. Not quitting on this team, on this podcast. Without further ado, let's wrap this thing up, guys. I've been Dom.
This is Pop. Might have to go a little Michael Jackson there. Don't stop till you get enough.
Thanks for another great week, guys.